mic working. Alright, let's do it. So I'm going to minimize you so you take up less. Then go live. And then do stuff. So I'm recording as well so I can actually have a good playback. Actually, I don't even need you. Get rid of you. Because I got my phone. Share. Copy link. This place. Oh, by the way, hey guys. If you're here right now, what's up? Just posting the link on the Discord. Excuse me. Oh. Sorry if that hurt anyone. I don't think it did. I think it's turned down quite low. But anyways. Oh boy, I hate allergies. Anyways. Welcome guys to the live stream. If you're watching this back, I guess welcome to. Anyways, we are going to start with the advent of code. I probably should put that up. Let me put this here, so advent of code. And I've already done this before. I'm gonna actually do this. I'm gonna actually make another account. Let's do Twitter because I've done GitHub and Google. Authorize. Oh, by the way, if you don't know, I actually have a Twitter. In case you didn't know that, if I'm connected to the internet, I'm going to take it off because it's making me lose. So, I could either be coding AP, I could be AP coding, and I don't have a... And then, didn't see that at all. Anyways. Yep. And so, if you, just in case you don't know what admin of code is, I'll put that in the chat. Just put that right there. Anyways. Just putting the link in there you go. So there's the link. I don't think it will work because I have to put the HT, like the beginning part of it. Anyways, let's do that. So as you can see, every problem has a solution that completes in at most 15 seconds on 10-year-old hardware. So if you don't do it fast, you're doing it wrong. So let's get started. I'm just gonna put that off to my second monitor. Not like that. Crap. Minimize and then move so I can read. So let's create it. Java project. Advent of code. And there we go. Alright, let's do... It's a moment because I don't know which year I want to do. I could do last year, so I could go all the way back to 2015. And I'm gonna chat up, so I don't know if people are chatting. Hey, vArchive. Yes, this is very cool. And I got told to speak up by T-Pro. No, I shall not. Just kidding. I can't see the left hand anymore. Here we go. Can hear you better. Alright, thank you, T-Pro. anyways, we're gonna get started. Do you have any preference on which year I shall do? Because I have no idea what I'm gonna do, because I got 2015 through 2019, and I can choose all the years in between. And I know 2015 is the easiest, and I think the hardest is Tiago. What is Advent of Code? I'll put the link in the description. Basically, it's supposed to be for Christmas. In case you didn't know that, it's a Christmas Advent calendar. In case you didn't know that, I keep saying that. It's if you don't know what an Advent calendar is, it's where you can do one thing per day. So like, original Advent calendar is where you just have 25 days, and then you open it, you get like a little treat. It's basically that, but coding puzzles. So you have, well, Christmas of last year, you had the day one, you get a puzzle. Well, you get, let me just read it. I'm trying to explain it. Advent of Code is an advent calendar of small programming puzzles for a variety of skill sets and skill levels that can be solved in any programming language you like. And then people, use them as stuff, but I just do it because they're fun. You don't need a computer science background to participate, just a little bit of programming knowledge and some problem solving skills. You don't even need programming skills. 2017 says T-Pro. Why not? Let's do it. So it's just programming. It's not really it's computer science puzzles. Oh, it's this year. So this year, 2017, is based off a computer architecture. Like, the stories are based off computer architectures. I'll show you. Here we go. I'm gonna have to show you anyway, so you can read the puzzles. So as you can see, here's like a motherboard and like some chips and on there, and you have the traces. So we can get started with this. Usually day one's the easiest, like always, excuse me, I'll be right back. I have to take care of my nostrils. Alright, I am back. I guess it's allergy season. Spring's upon us. The flowers are blooming and my nose is running. Anyways, let's continue going. So, like I said, I just created this, and it's based off a motherboard. So, if we go into the first one, it's going to talk about a nice one. I don't know if I want to read this all, but I'm just going to tell you what we have. The night before Christmas, one of Santa elves calls you in a panic. The printer's broken. We can't print the naughty or nice list. By the time you make it to Sub-Basement 17, there are only a few minutes until midnight. We have a big problem, she says. There must be almost 50 bugs in this system. I like how they can count the bugs. But nothing else can print the list. Stand in a square, quick. There's no time to explain. If you can convince them to pay you in stars, you'll be able to... Boom! And she pulls the lever and the world. You're basically transported into a printer motherboard, and you have to get 50 stars to to bribe the bugs of going away. So that means that you have 50 puzzles to solve and you get a star for each puzzle. There's 2 puzzles per day, so I like that. And so the first thing is it goes on to explain that you may only leave by solving a captcha to prove you're not a human. Apparently, you only get 1 millisecond to solve the captcha. Too fast for a normal human, but it feels like hours to you because you're on the motherboard. You know, everything's super zoomy. But yeah, the captcha requires you to review a sequence of digits, which is your puzzle input down here. You can also go along with me if you want to, because like they're pretty easy puzzles to solve. The captcha requires you to review a sequence of digits, like I said, and find the sum of all digits that match the next digit in the list. And so it provides a list of examples. So what you need to do is you need to go through the entire digit, or entire number, basically. Oh boy. You see, this is, and it works because no human is able to do this. But you know, like the story twist. So anyways, the next thing you gotta do is you gotta go through it and see if there's any doubles. If there's doubles, add that to a sum, and then return the sum after you're done with this entire number. So, and also it wraps around for some reason, I don't know, because it probably wraps around here. 5, 5, yeah, look, 5, 5, so we know that. So, see, 1 matches this last digit, so you add that to the sum. And then 2 matches its last digit, so you add that to sum for a total thing of 3. 1 matches the last digit, 1 matches the last digit, and 1 matches to the last digit, and then 1 wraps around to that last digit, so it works. Nothing is good here, not even any wraps. And like I said, the wrapping is weird, so 9 is the sum. So anyways, let's actually get started programming. Let's put you off to the side and create this. Just a puzzle here. I'll probably make a package for 2017. Oh, AOC 2017. And then day 1. Just a bit of organizing. So we have to read from a file. Oh, I know I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to create a helper class. File utils. Oh. And you're just going to go into the main source. Explain about the doubles again. Not here. Okay, so make this full screen. If the digit you're currently on, so you're going through a number, and if the digit you're currently on matches the previous digit, you add that to a result. So as you can see here, 1, it wraps around to the beginning. It doesn't match, so it moves on. And then it goes to the next digit, which it checks the last digit, which is this one. And if it matches, 1 is equal to 1, so it matches. Then it will add that sum to, just add that to a sum. And then it'll go on to the next digit. 2 does not match 1, so it doesn't add that. However, the next time, 2 does match 2 because kind of obvious. And so you add that to the sum. So you get 1, which from these doubles over here, and 2 from these doubles over here. So you get the final sum of 3. So that's what we need to accomplish here, and we need to do that for this giant input. So I could just make this a variable, but I am just going to read it from a file because I think it's better, and obviously it's going to get more complicated than just a one number that we have to feed in. So let's do public static. It's going to be string, and then we're just going to say read a file, and then we need to provide its path to the file. So let's make a scanner. So we need a string builder. Like type builder. That's equal to a new string builder. I'm starting to become British. What the heck? Anyways. And then afterwards, we need to return builder dot, let that load, to string, shut up Eclipse, dot to string. So now we need to create a new scanner. So scanner file reader is equal to new scanner, and then we need to tell it what to scan. So we needed to scan it a file, and so we create a file object. And this isn't really part of the puzzle. This is just for helping me read the class, like the actual file I'm going to implement into the Java file. Surround with the try and catch, just in case you can't find the file. And finally, while file reader that has next. So if it actually has more in the file to read, then add that into the builder. So builder dot append that next line. So file reader dot next line. Why you not use file reader file equals new file reader? I could use the file reader class, but I like using scanner because like scanner just it works for most cases. Because obviously you could I'm trying to, gosh dang it, having a brain fart. Scanner works for the input too. Like you can use a scanner to read the input of this console down here. So you can use a scanner to not only read files, but you can read the console, so you can input numbers and you can actually do all that. And then I know there's a bug in here because I've used scanners before, and if you use if builder dot has, or if file reader, not builder, file reader has next. So there's a bug where it will read and then it will add an extra new line character, which could ruin some inputs. So I'm gonna add a edge case fix to that, to where if it has a next one, then it will also append a new line. So if it doesn't have a next one, aka it's the last line in the file, it won't add a new line to it. So new line. And then finally, after we read all of it, we close it, because you don't want any of that happening. And there we go. So now we got a read file. So now if we actually, start the challenge, we can do public static void main, because every Java program needs that, provided with arguments. And then we can do public static string file input, and that is equal to file utils dot read string, or read file, and I'm so used to game programming, I'm thinking it's in the resources folder. Where should we put this? I don't know. Let me get rid of this one because that's not really working out. Let's just put it in text files. Boom, files. Boom, that's the name. That's the name, right? Yeah. So add new text file, and then we need to put this input in there. So copy, paste. As like I told you, it's a long number, so we add that in there. Advent of code, source files, and we just say day one. Why not day one? So now we have a way to read that. So now we can do files /day1.txt, and now that we know what that number is, it's right here, we can actually use that to solve the challenge. So remember the challenge where we have to figure out the doubles? The first thing I think we should do is go through each one. So for int I equals 0, I is less than file input dot length, I plus plus. So it just goes through the big old number, and then now we need to be able to get the last character and the current character without errors. So this should be an integer, so last digit, not number, last digit is equal to file input dot char at I minus 1, and then int current digit, if I can spell it, digit is equal to file input dot char at I. I don't know if these are actually going to be numbers or they're going to be the char codes, because the numbers char code is different from the actual number itself. So I probably have to deal with that. So can I just do character dot to wait, the file class don't read in outside of jar file. No, it doesn't. Well, I'm not going to be exporting this to a jar file. I'm just going to be writing it in this IDE and then taking whatever I get from this console and just plugging it into the thing. I'm not going to export this to a jar file. Like that. To chars, to code point. I don't see anything that says to integer. So I could do toString. This is a terrible way of doing it. I could do toString. And then finally I can do integer dot to or parse int. Boom. So now it parses the int, and then I can do the same for this one. But instead of getting I minus 1, I just say I. So now that we have the last and current digit as numbers, we can compare them. We probably also should have the edge cases, the wraparounds, and well, we can fix one of those edge cases by just starting at the first one. And current digit, and then we need to say if I is equal to the length of the string minus 1, because remember it's 0 index, then last digit is equal to actually the first digit. Last digit is equal to all this, but instead of I minus 1, it's 0. So just to get the edge cases out of the way. And then finally, we need to say if last digit is equal to current digit. We need to, add that into a sum, and we should probably make a sum character int sum is equal to 0. Sum plus equals current digit. And afterwards, we're just going to print out what that sum is. Just sum is the variable. Boom. There we go. Yeah, we got all that. We should get a number down in this console down here. Yeah, we get nothing. Oh wait, is it because I just called it day. Let me fix that. It's called day 1, and now we can run it. Day1.txt is now found in files. Do I have to put a line? Oh, not a line. A slash there. No, I do not. Oh, source / files. I forgot that it starts there. Okay, 1136. I don't know if this is the answer, but I will submit it. There it goes. It says that is the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer to debugging the printer. That's amazing. And like I said, there's 50 stars, so there's plenty of puzzles. So you notice a progress bar that jumps to 50% complete. Apparently the door isn't yet satisfied. But it did emit a star as encouragement. Now it changes. Now instead of considering the next digit, it wants you to consider the digit halfway around the circular list. That is, if your list contains 10 items, only include a digit in sum if the digit is 5 steps forward matches it. This is getting confusing. So apparently it's length of so what about an odd number? Okay, I guess not. So this is 6. This is a length of 6, so you need to match 3 digits ahead. 1 doesn't do that. 1 matches with 4. Well, it doesn't. And then 2 does, because it matches with the 2. And then, if it's longer, that means it's going to wrap around. And apparently 2 matches with 2 again, so it gets 4. So this time we're going to have to include the entire thing. I'm actually going to just copy and paste this and then just run it again, but with different things. Or let me do this. Public static int part1, or actually just say void. Sorry, void part1, and it runs this line of code. And then instead of doing all that in the main function, I just called part1. But then I'd say part2 and just copy and paste this function. If you are doing networks outside of the Eclipse workspace, well, I'm not really expecting to be doing anything out of the Eclipse workspace. And I'm just going to be writing the code in here and just taking this and using it elsewhere, because all it wants is just what the answer is. It doesn't want your actual code. It doesn't want to run the code, see if it's optimized or anything. It just wants you to give it an output. Where did I put it? Yeah, here. See, it's looking for the answer. It's not looking for you to take your code and place it in there and run it. So I'm not really looking for can other people run my code, because no they can't. They can't run my code. So well, I mean, what are you gonna do? Let me run my code, gosh dang it. Anyways, so now instead of doing it one digit behind, now we have to figure out how many digits ahead we should do it, and that's just based off the half of the length. So int length is equal to, or what should I, ahead, I think, let's just call it ahead, is equal to whatever the length of the digit is, divided by 2. So now that we got that, now we need to use that instead. So next digit is equal to file.input.char at I plus ahead. But since we're working with wraparounds, we need to actually do a bit of finicking with that. So probably we should use the mod function, mod, and then whatever the length is. And just to save time, length is equal to, because we're going to have to call that a lot of times. It'll just save a lot of processing power. Not really a lot of, just it's better coding practice. There, plus ahead. And then it mods it. And yeah, that's all integer division right there, so it shouldn't have any floating points. And this shouldn't change, but we should actually start from 0. And yeah. And we don't need this one because we're already wrapping around as it is. Yeah, and let's run it. So the first one should already be there. The second one should also already be there. So we got our answer of 1092. Let's see if it's correct. And it is. So we got the right answer and we finished day 1. And so that's, like I said, they're pretty simple puzzles and they should be done, like, if you're speed coded, it can be done in like less than a minute. But I wanted to stretch it out so people can understand how to do these types of puzzles so they can get involved, and then they can also do these puzzles by themselves. So now that I got day 1, you know what I need to do and you know how it works. So now it doesn't really require like much finicking with this. I could probably just copy and paste this for day 2 and like the rest of the days. So yeah, let's go to the next puzzle. So as you can see, day 1 is achieved and we started at our location, which is whatever this equal sign is, and we go here. We pass this, it looks like a AND gate. Instead, rename the functions or variables manually. You can refactor with Alt-Shift-R. I could, like, yeah. That is a good idea. I like that. Anyways, let's move on to the second one. So, corruption, what the heck is that word? Corruption checksum. As you walk through the door, glowing humanoid shape yells in your direction. You here, or you there. English. Your state appears to be idle. Come help us repair the corruption in the spreadsheet. If we take another millisecond, we'll have to display an hourglass cursor. How dare you take another millisecond. Alright, anyways. The rows largest and smallest values are 9 and 1 in their different state. Alright, so they're given a spreadsheet. Second rows is 7 and 3, so it's 4, and then last one's 8 and 2, so it's 6. And so the spreadsheet checksum would be 18. Alright. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy format as well. It's probably spaces. So let's put this in a foil. Is this the last one? Yeah, that's the last one. So let's create a new text file. New text file. Eat that in there. What has happened to it? So it looks like it's a bunch of tabs and spaces, which is fine. I can take that. And so this is day2.txt. And this needs to be saved in files as well. And then let's copy this. Day 2, yes, and then actually, yeah, boom. It doesn't really require much of a difference. It just, and now day 2 set up and ready to go. Alright, so the file input's a bit different. It's not a straight line anymore. Like I said, it's going to get a bit more complicated. So we have a row, and then it's either separated by a space or a tab because, sure, I don't know, probably something wrong with the input anyways. So what's the tab? I know a space, I can split it by a space, but then I need to replace the tab with the space at that point. So let's sanitize it. And then we can do public static string sanitized is equal to, actually no, we need to have a double array of strings spreadsheet. That's not created just yet, so we go in here and we create it because both parts are probably going to use it. So we need to say spreadsheet is equal to, well, we can't create it yet because we haven't sanitized our string. So string array, I don't know where you even start with this. I think we need to sanitize first. So replace old character, so anytime you see, I think it's that, is that the escape sequence? Search it up. Character for tab. Yeah, escape code. That's okay. We got it. So we replace that with a space. And we say that's equal to file input. And then finally, when we do that, we can split it with a new line because each new line's a new row. And that's going to be an array. So string array of rows is equal to file input dot split with a new line. And so, and then we need to go through those rows, and so for int I equals 0, I is less than rows dot length, I is plus. And so we do that. You know, do all the normal stuff of going through a string, putting it into a spreadsheet, our own custom spreadsheet, neato. Wait, these need to be int because this is a bunch of numbers. Alright, so now that we go through here, now we need to split each of those numbers in the row, and now they're all spaces, so we can easily do that. So string array numbers is equal to file, or not file, but rows of I dot split by space. And then we go through all the numbers into j equals 0, j is less than numbers dot length, j plus plus, and we just say it's bad because to actually put stuff in a spreadsheet we have to initialize it first, and then we can, I know what we can do. Spreadsheet is equal to null, and then with if spreadsheet, if I can spreadsheet is equal to null, then we create it. So spread sheet is equal to, do they have varying number amounts? No, they don't. They all have the same number amount, so we can just do it. So spreadsheet equals new int array with rows dot length, and then how many numbers are, so numbers dot length, and then we can just say spreadsheet of row of I, and then of j is equal to integer dot parse int numbers of j. So now, if this works out correctly, I should be able to, I hate looking at this, let me just, boom. If I should get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I should get 1706. So just to prove this works, system.out.print line spreadsheet. Why do you not use for string element array? Listen, I'm speaking into my phone. Hold on. Listen, I do what I want. I know that the for each loops exist. I do know that. But what if I want to change something with that? And plus, I couldn't be able to use the new int and new row. I couldn't be able to initialize the spreadsheets because I would have to go through the row first. So just let me do it. I like the where I can go through each iteration because then I can test a lot of things. I know, and I do know the for each loop exists. Just thank you. By the way, thank you. I'm not getting mad at you. I'm just saying that I do things a certain way. Man, I feel like a bad boy now. I feel bad. Sorry, gosh dang it, Tiago. Yeah, Tiago. I was trying to is there any way I can pronounce that? But no, I didn't know how to pronounce it the first time. So thank you for your suggestion. But it's just the way I do it. So spreadsheet 5 and 7. I should get 1706. That's not what I got. It's panic time. Oh yes. Okay, so I got. I really worship. Yeah, I got that. That's what I got. What did I get? Oh wait. Oh, I did it the other way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. I'm Portuguese. God, I'm not. I'm just saying that. Yeah. I'm sorry. Just let me just say that I'm sorry for getting all serious. It's just that I program in certain ways, and also I like working with numbers. And while I see, I'd probably use that loop if it was just for each object in an array, object.update and object.render. If you don't have to, if you're just doing that, I'd probably use the for each loop. But anyways, I went the wrong way. Actually, I didn't use the wrong way. I'm fine. It's fine. So anyways, what am I supposed to do? I forgot. Oh yeah, go through it, find the biggest and smallest number, and then do the differences. So 4. I know I'm going to need these. So static int rows equal to 0, columns is equal to 0, and then at the end rows is equal to rows dot length. Dang it. Rows amount I could do row amount, and then actually put that in null. Column out is equal to numbers dot length. So now I know how many columns and rows there are. Let's work with it. I is less than 0. I is less than row amount. And then I plus plus. So now I go through each row, and I need to find the biggest one. So int biggest is equal to integer dot min value, which is like -2 trillion, I think, or 2 billion. And then int smallest is equal to the biggest value. And so no matter what, you're going to find the biggest and smallest values. And I could have used -1 million and +1 million, but I like being good. I don't know what they call that. So now I go through that row. So int j is equal to 0. J is less than column amount. And then j plus plus. And so now we need to find the biggest. So if spreadsheet of I and j is greater than biggest, then that's the biggest. Biggest is equal to dab boy. And do the same for the smallest. There's probably a better way of doing this, but smallest is equal to that. And so now that we go through that, we need to get another sum. So int sum is equal to 0. It would be checksum if I really want to just do it. Checksum. And then afterward, system.out.print line checksum. And so the whole purpose of this was to try to find the range of each row and then add that to the checksum. So checksum plus equals biggest minus smallest. So after we do that, we should be able to get the entire checksum. All right, there we go. We get that. And so if we submit it right here, that is the right answer. All right. The first couple days are probably going to be really easy. But when we get to like double digits, basically, we're going to get swamped in like bad puzzles. Anyways. Excuse me. Based on what we're seeing, it looks like all the user wanted is some information about the evenly divisible values in the spreadsheet. Unfortunately, none of us are equipped for that kind of calculation. Most of us specialize in bitwise operations, where one evenly divides and another. All right, 8 and 2. Oh yeah! Oh boy, this is about to get big ol'. It sounds like okay, yeah, we already said that. And so the second one would be 9 and 3s, and then you divide that and add that, and then finally it'd be 6 and 3, and then that'd be 2, and then add that. All right. So basically the same thing, but it's not a checksum. It's just the actual result. So we can use pretty much the same code. I'll just, instead of calling it a checksum, I'll just call it result. And so what we need to do is we need to test every column or every number to every number, and if it evenly is divisible, as in there's no floating point value, that is your numbers. Send it and you're all good. So what I could do is I could get rid of that because we're not checking for biggest and smallest anymore. We're checking for evenly. Get out of here, Eclipse pluses. I don't know what to call you, but Eclipse pluses. So we're going to call this K. We're going to start with 0. And the good news is if J is equal to K, continue. Don't compare them to each other because they're going to work. It's going to always come out to 1. So, yeah. Anyways, so now we compare every other element to each other. And that would be fine for this case because there's not that many. So, alright, cool. And so, to check for floating point, we have to do mod 1, I think. Yeah. Because mod 1, it'll just get rid of the whole numbers and you're left with it. So, if J divided by K float J, or we have to do the spreadsheet of I of J, and we have to make this a float because they're all integers. Boom, divided by float spreadsheet I of K. Boom, boom. Oh, I already had the float there. Boom, boom. Lots of booming. And then put that into an array. Parentheses. Mod 1 is greater than 0, aka it's a float point value. Like you have decimals at the end of it. No. Or is equal to 0. Because we're looking for if it's evenly divisible. And so we're looking for each one. So int J is equal to 0, or int element 1. I don't know what to call these. Element 1 is equal to 0. Element 2 is also equal to 0. Dogs cray cray. I'm 2. I'm guessing you're referring to I'm Portuguese. I think so. Unless I said something and I'm looking like an idiot right now. But anyways, hello dogs cray cray. What's up? Also hello to everyone who's viewing the stream right now, whether it be actually on the stream. What else? Or if you're watching it back, welcome. I mean, you've already been here for a while, but who cares? Welcome. Yeah. So, okay. So now that if that happens, element 1 is equal to J. Element 2 is equal to K. And yeah. So Boolean found, just to make this a bit more quicker. And then false, or found is equal to true. And then if found, well, I would just use break here, so break. And then for the J loop, if found break. So it just, as soon as it found it, it would use it. So now what we could do is we could just use this one basically, but without the float values, because we already know that they're both evenly divisible, so there's not going to be any float values. So poof and boom. But instead of using J and K, we use element 1 and element 2. Bit of a longer one, but it's, I hope that this doesn't look right. It's right for some reason. Anyway, yeah, I knew it was right. Yeah, I made this. I made the internet. I'm Al Gore, so I knew it was gonna be right. Totally. Yeah. All right, we unlocked the next spot. We didn't unlock it. You can do these in any order. But yeah. I wonder what this is. Hold on. Base 64. decode. It either looks like that or decode. Sending Christmas cards to bad addresses. Yeah, cool. I knew. Alright, you come across an experimental new kind of memory stored on an infinite two-dimensional grid. Well, if you have an infinite two-dimensional grid, why would you use it as a spiral? Each square of the grid is allocated in a spiral, starting at the location marked 1, and then counting up while swinging outward. Alright. So, while this is very space efficient, no scares the script. Requested data must be carried back to square 1. What? And by programs that can move. They always take the shortest path to Manhattan is between. Alright. Now this is getting confusing. Alright, so we have to figure out a formula to convert this number into steps. So 1, if you plug in 1, you get 0. If you plug in 12, you get 3. If you plug in 23, you get 2. So let's actually make this. We don't have to actually put in a file because it's one number. I think I can deal with that. Paste. Thank you, T-Pro. Haven't heard from you in a while. Anyways. So I don't need this part of the code anymore. I don't need these parts and these parts either. There we go. And we don't need, actually we don't even need this. We just need to say public static int input is equal to, and then this input. So now that we got the input thing, now we can actually start. So get rid of day 2. How are we going to do this? Alright, so we can make a for loop that goes all the way up to there and keep in track of what the x and y coordinate is, and then once it's done you can use the x and y coordinate to figure out the Manhattan distance, but I don't know how long that will take. Let me figure. Okay, so we start at 1, it doesn't go anywhere, and then it goes right 1, up 1, and then left 2, and then down 2, and then right 3, up 3. I sense a pattern. Once you find the pattern, it's really easy. Okay, so the length that it moves in starts at 1, 1, 1. And then after each 2 steps you take, it goes up by 1. So you got 1, 1, and then 2, 2. And then 3, 3, and then 4, 4. So with that out of the way, we can figure out how long it takes. We could just use a for loop. And then we just keep in track of what number we're on. So 1, 1, 2, 2. So you just keep adding that. So 1, 1, 2, 2, and then 3, 3, and then 4, 4, and then you add the all 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, and you should get 21. Yeah, because 1, 1, 1, and then 5, 7, 10, 13. Yeah. A lot of this doesn't actually come down to the programming. It mostly comes down to the problem solving and trying to find the pattern or the algorithm or the equation to figure out what the correct answer is. Just a little tip there. Don't try to focus directly on programming. Try to figure out what you need to do and then try to program that in. That's always just problem solving. And then the input number plus plus. So like I said, it goes through all the input, and actually, can I do plus equals 0? Let me do a while loop actually. So while and then we're just going to say int I equals 0, and then I is less than input, less than or equal to input. Actually not while, it's equal to, because then it'll skip it. And then I can increment I in any way I want. So now we start in the middle at 0, 0, where 1 is. So let me create an x and a y. Actually, I'll put an x and a y here. So int x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0 as well. So we start at the 0, 0, and we actually need a direction. So direction is equal to, and 0 is going to be right. And then it goes from 1, 2, 3. 1 is up, 2 is left, and 3 is down. And then we need a length. Is equal to 1, and finally, so we got the direction, how long we step, and how long we have taken to get to that step. So time is equal to 0. So every time we do an iteration, time goes up, and if time is even, length goes up. So if time mod 2 is equal to 0, length goes up, and also direction goes up, but it's a circular, so direction plus plus. If direction is greater than 3, direction is equal to 0. So just a bit of there. And so the x and y, my phone's almost dead. No only way I can actually chat with you guys. So let me grab my charger, hold on. You guys want music? I don't know if that's a thing, because I kind of want something to listen to while I program. Boop, 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 boop. Gotta put my phone right there. There we go. Alright, so now that I got that out of the way, now it's charging. Now the wire's in the way, great. Gonna move there. Alright, so now we need to figure out so I is the current number 1, which should be 1 actually, and then finally I plus equals length at the end, and then at the end we're going to print out the Manhattan distance, which is the closest distance to object without using diagonal. So it's basically we move x all the way, we move all y on the way. We can easily figure that out by just knowing the distance between it. And since we know that 0, 0 is where we want to go to, then just the x and y values, absolute values added together is the distance. And that was given to it. I heard that from a talk given to on YouTube somewhere. Gosh dang it! It's always these talks that I don't remember, and I never like anything. I never upvote or like or anything. I just don't know why. First of all, that's a stupid thing to say, but you know, it's just what I'm used to. There's probably chat going on. There's always a glitch on my end where I can't read chat messages. Even if you like say something, I just can't read it for some reason. But it doesn't happen this time, so that's pretty good. X and Y. Okay, so we also need to increment X and Y. So we need a switch case. Switch for the direction. I'm not going to use alpha case. So if it's case 0, it's case, yeah, sorry, my brain just went somewhere else. So if it's case 0, that means it's going right. Break case 2, break. Probably should copy and paste. Break. Anyways, okay, so now that we got the directions, let me start at 3 because I want it to go right first. So it goes right, moves up, time should be -1 because it's trying to get the beginning, so time, it'll move, oh, and time is not equal to 0. This is a terrible way of doing programming. This is terrible. I'm just patching in edge case fixes like that. Time equals 0. It'll add links. So then 1, 2, and then links will be added. There's probably a better way of doing this. Like probably do the direction first, so I can say direction starts right. Okay, and then so if it is x plus equal, so if it's going right, x plus equals length, and if it's going up, which is 1, then y might, should I do, I'll do where y is positive, and then 2 and 3 is negative x and negative y, and then I think get rid of this y space. So it moves it based on the direction. So it'll go up 1 next. Time will go up. Yeah, that's good. And so what happens? 558. Knowing, I really don't know. It's not the answer. It's too high. Alright, it's too high. So something went wrong. It's too high. Oh. I know what happened. Alright, so when I don't stop until I reach the input, but I might have already passed the input when I get there. I can test this by printing out I. So if I is greater than the input, we know that's the case. Yeah, I is greater than the input. Okay, so before we add length to I, if I plus length would be greater than input, else do it like normal. So that just makes it to where if we're gonna pass it on this iteration, then get to the input. Oh, so we need to figure that out. So that means that int needed length is equal to input minus current I. So this is how far we are from where we need to be. And then we basically do this. Also, we might need to move this. We might need to move this at before this one because length changes. Okay, yeah. So int I needed length, and then instead it will move it by the needed length. Oh, it still moves X. So we need to put that before this one. And then we need to put this in the else statement. Alright. Yes. Hopefully this works. Wait a minute. It was too high before. This is way too high now. Something went wrong. Oh, wait, it's greater than... not. Oh, no. Stop. That should have been instant. I knew something went wrong. That should have been instant. Alright. Let's see how far it's actually going. Alright, it goes to this one. Which would have stopped it. So something went wrong. Oh. I know. I plus equals needed length. Boom. We didn't actually increment I. Alright, boom. Get rid of this output. So 430, which is actually less than the previous one. So I'm having a good feeling that this is right. Yes, it is. That is the right answer. There's your gold star smacking on there. As a stress test on the system, the programs here clear the grid and then store the value 1 and square 1, then in the same allocation order as shown. So square 1 starts with the value 1. Square 2 only has one adjacent filled square with value 1, so it only stores 1. Square 3 has square both. Okay. So, is it a 3 by 3 in all adjacent squares? Yes, it is, because that's 22. Wait, it's 12. Yeah. 21, 22, 23. All right, so it's a 3 by 3. This is getting complicated. So, instead of having what we do, we actually have to keep a hold of each one. Well, we can keep a map of each number. Yes, we can. We can keep it a map. So we need to do this in this one. So I'm just going to copy this code and put it into part 2. We're not going to need the X and Y for that case. Direction, length, time. Yes, okay. We're all going to need that. And I we're going to need. So we're going to need all of this, but the use for this is going to be different. So the next thing we need is we need a map. So map of an int array, which is our vector, so our X and Y value, and just a normal integer. It's gonna, and then we're just gonna call that grid is equal to new hash map, and then import those two. So now we could keep adding values into there, and then we can just keep a track of them. So while I is less than input. Oh yeah, when do we need to stop? When do we need to stop? So I is probably going to be the last value. Let's just say last value now. last value is equal to 1. So if last value is greater than input, stop. And then we can actually print that out as our result. So system.out.print line last value. There we go. And so the x and y is, we need that direction, length, time. We still need that. Probably need to rework this. And we actually can't do length. We're just gonna have to, well, we do have to do length, but it's not gonna be used in this instance. Delete U. So direction needs to be moved, time needs to be moved, and length needs, okay, so that's all staying the same. And so what we need to do is we need to say for int I, we can actually use I is less than length, and I plus plus 1, and then 1 is equal to length. So it at least moves 1, because when we do that, it'll be I equals 0, and really won't work. And so now we need to do a switch for the direction again. Probably should have kept that code, but oh well. So case of 0, so that's right. Break. This time I am going to copy and paste. And 1, 2, a tree. Crunch sound effect from the Tootsie Roll. Yeah. Anyways. What should we do? We should read the comments. Okay, yeah, I know what I need to do. X plus equals 1. Actually, we need to do 0, and then, like, that's fine, because we're not going to actually use I, we're just going to use that as a tracker. So x plus equals 1, and then y plus equals 1, and then x minus equals 1, and then, why are we doing plus equals 1? I have stupid. Boom. And like I said, there's probably better ways of doing this, but this is my way, and I did this without, yeah. So anyways, so we got the last value, which is 1, and so when we got the new x coordinate, we're going to have to figure out the rest of the x coordinates. So we need to get neighbors, so int or array neighbors, and it's always going to equal 8, so new int array, because it's a 3 by 3 grid, but you're not including your middle one, so it's just the surrounding 8. So we need to figure out each of those neighbors. So neighbors, in fact, I don't even need neighbors, we just need to get int current value, and that's going to be equal to 0. And then current value, or if grid dot get and then array of, or new int array, and then it'll be x minus 1. Hello, Yalasari. I'm just doing a bit of coding. Welcome to the stream. Make yourself comfortable. Do whatever you want to. I mean, not do whatever you want to, but talk, you know, ask questions, all that. So it's not equal to null. So if that exists, so if this grid space exists, current value plus equals that grid space. Alright, so now that we got that base down, let's do this one. Int is equal to -1, int I is equal, or can I do it? Yeah, I can. Int I is equal to -1, I is less than or equal to 1, I plus plus. And actually let me do, yeah, no, I's right, because I'm already using X and Y. And then J. And so now, instead of having to write that line 8 times, now I only have to write it once. I just say I, X plus I, and then Y plus J. And then do the same for that. In fact, int grid value is equal to that. And then grid value, hey, use map class as the type and hash map instance as value isn't probably correct to do. I mean, it works for me pretty well. Like, what do you mean it isn't correct to do? Wait, oh. I have to use integer. Do I have to do integer.getValue? Yeah, I can do that. So that gets the rest of the values if they exist. And then finally, I need to add that to the place. Grid dot put in a new int array of the current X and Y. Well, not like that. Current value. Gosh dang it. Can I not? Okay. Comma Y. I hate it when this happens. How do I get out of this? Comma Y. And just copy and paste that in. There. Gosh dang it. And the first thing I'm going to need to is I need to initialize this, so with the one value, so new int array x, or not x, y, 1, 0, 0. It's doing it again. Boom, boom. So now at 0, 0, it starts with 1. And then it should be able to do the rest. I don't know what will happen. 1. That didn't work out. Why did it stop? I don't know why it stopped. In fact, why? Yeah. Oh. Well, last value is less than input. And last value is equal to current value. Well, if I could spell right. So now what it should do is it should iterate through each. It's going through the entire grid, calculating what it should be, and yeah. So, well, let me see what those values are. So system.print line current value. Oh, well, I know why that's not working. I always get these wrong when I'm working with different variables. Okay, a bunch of zeros. That is no good. That is no good. That is weird. So let me just do it once. So I'll just revert back to what I did where it only executed once. But grid value and x plus, and then we have a space, and then plus y plus, and then another space, and then the grid value. So this just for debug purposes. It didn't even work. Wait, did this? Oh, I didn't. Let me just, and then last value is equal to input plus 1. Just hard code a one-time use only. Alright, so it all returned null. It's weird, because it's 0, 0. Oh, hold on. If I is equal to 0 and j is equal to 0. This doesn't have anything to do with it, but it should only run 8 times. So grid value, grid.get, and then by this array. I know that ain't gonna work because technically they're 2 different objects. The quarantine is making effect. What does that mean, Tiago? So, I don't know what that means. Let me actually, this is probably another stupid idea, but instead of using array, let's use a string. Because a string is actually, it may be different now that I think about it. So, it's fine. So, it'll put in the coordinates. I'll put it in like this to make sure that everything is fine. And then afterwards, it'll be x plus in the space of comma and then plus y. And then new be the same as this, but in parentheses x plus I, and then in parentheses y plus j. Boom. I don't know what will happen. Oh my goodness. It worked. That actually did work. Okay, I'm really okay. That's progress. That is progress. That is progress. That is progress. Is equal to current value. Alright, and then when last value, okay, that should work. So it's going to take a little bit, I think. Let me check it actually. I don't know what it is. So now, system.out.print line. Let me see if there's any infinite loops. There is some infinite loops. Oh, whoa, that's something wrong. So, I don't think that is correct now that I look at it. Let me just stop it immediately so I can see what's going wrong. Okay, so 1 0 1 1 should be 0 1. Wait, I know what's wrong. Yeah, I think it has to do that. I did the same exact thing I did last time. So now, all right, that should be correct. And now, it's K now. Anytime I see I, it is K. I think. I don't think that's right. Okay, 1 1 1 0 1. Oh wait. That part's not supposed to be in it. It's fine. We're fine. I hate have this to organize. All right, that's actual stuff, and it's actually it seems plausible for it to be that. So let's put it in. It's too high. Oh, is that the input? It's not the input. It is higher though. So 1 0 1 1 0 1 and then negative 1. So yeah, it's and then we need to see what the current value is. See if it's being calculated correctly. And we can actually compare that to this one if I return back to it. But I can compare to it because that's not the right one. Here it is. So 1, 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 11, 23, 25, 26, 54, 57, 59, 122, 123. And then 806. And then should this be 880? Because 806 plus. Oh wait, that ain't the first value. It ain't the first value over the input. Back to this. So, we need to test if... We need to test this. And then if last value is greater than input break. So, yeah, okay. So that is the great... There we go. Right, we've done it. We've completed day 3, and we did it in a reasonable time. What is it only? It's been an hour and a half, and it completed 3 days. Technically 6 puzzles. So, I'm actually gonna go eat a little bit. Food is here, and I'm hungry. I've been hungry for the past. Yeah. So, you're gonna see a BRB for like a little bit. So, see you in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. I have eaten, and I'm ready to go again. So, where we left off, we completed day 3, and we're going to go on to day 4, get a drink. So, if you're just joining, or if you joined when I was in the BRB, we're doing the Advent of Code, and we are just doing basic puzzling programs. Anyways, let's continue. So day 4, well, this is short. This is very short. I don't think they could have figured out a story. Use a passphrase instead of a password, and it consists of lowercase words separated by spaces, and it's just saying, alright, so if they contain more of the word than no. And there's this many. Alright, it's not too hard. Let's copy you, put you in a text file. So day 4, boom, Advent of Code, source files, and you're called day 4. Alright. Oh gosh, spell checker's having a heyday with this. Ugh. Let's copy day 3 and paste you. Day 4. Go into day 4. I don't even need file utils anymore. I mean, I'm gonna need it for the because I'm gonna have to read a file, obviously. Yeah, we need this. There we go. And then finally, public static string file input is equal to file utils dot read file, and then source / files, and then day 4. So just the basics out of the way. So next, we need to be able to parse through this. And so string file input dot, or string array passphrase is equal to file input dot split by the new line character, and then we go through all these passphrases. This time we can actually use the for each loop phrases in our passphrase and passphrases. So now we go through all the passphrases, and we probably need to go through each of them. Anyways, string array words is equal to passphrase dot split by a space. We could probably just go through the words and compare them each other because, like I said, they're not that long in length. So for int I equals to 0, I is less than words dot length I plus plus, and then do the same thing, but instead of I, it's J. And then first of all, if I is equal to J, okay, they're the same words, then don't even bother to continue. But if they're not, and if words of I is equal to words of J, then do I just need to say that, like, what are we counting? D4, go to you. Valid. Alright, so Boolean valid is equal to true, and if it's not, then valid is equal to false and break. Well, actually, we could just say valid is equal to false and then have some checks. And it's like, so if valid actually we can just say it'll go through the entire list just because it's not that long. So if valid is still true, then we need an integer at the end. Int valid pass phrases is equal to 0, and then we just increment this, obviously. And then at the end we say how many are valid by just printing it out if I can type. So valid, put that in the wrong place, pass phrases, just copy this because, and that should be it. I'm assuming that's what it is. How many pass, okay, that's what I thought. And so if we run this, 512, that's a pretty, if this is the input, that's a nice number. Oh, it's too high. Dig it. So something went wrong. So, I don't think, wait, is there 512 of these? I don't think there is. Is there any other? No duplicate word. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm looking for. If valid system.out.print words of I plus space plus words of J. And then after all that, system.out.print line plus space plus valid. Oh my goodness. Oh, we have to add up. So it goes through all of it, yeah. Yeah, this is kind of hard to read, not gonna lie. Oh, wait. We're dealing with strings. Dot equals. I knew as soon. Dealing with strings sucks. So whatever. Yeah, that's the correct answer. It was that. So for added security, add another system policy. If it's invalid, if any other words list can be ooh. Alright, so we need to detect if it's not only a duplicate, but it's a palindrome. So I have an idea. So we can use this system again because it works. Because we can compare every other word to each other. Boom. So part 2 now has an extra condition of if they're palindrome, Alright, so we could probably just sort characters. Can we do split like just normally, so like words of I word 1 chars is equal to, and we need this to be a char array or a string array dot split by nothing. So and the word 2 chars, and there we go. And how does the sort? Because I know there's a sort function in Java. Arrays.sort in ascending order. So okay, so it'd be from smallest to greatest. That will work. I'll take it. So arrays.sort. So now we got to convert all these into integers. So for int I equals 0, I is less than word 1 chars dot length I plus plus. By the way, this is terrible code. If in case you haven't sensed that already, this is going to be pretty bad. If we're going to do that, there's probably much better ways of detecting whether or not 2 words are palindromes. I'll probably search it up after the video, but I'm not going to do that right now because that's cheating, and I'm going to use my own brain to figure out my own solutions. Oh, I can't use I. Words 1. That's so now wait, and then int array word 1 int is equal to word 1 chars dot length, or not dot length, but new int word 1 chars dot length, and of w1 is equal to characters dot 2 the string dot char dot 2 character dot 2. I'm confused. How do I get code point? How do I get the key code? Do I have to say words of I dot 2? Oh, code point. Oh, I don't even have to do that. So words of I dot length. But is that? Alright, so that saves it, and then I'll probably add a bit of space there. Dot code point at w1, and then afterwards sort it. For arrays dot 2 or arrays dot sort for 1 int. There we go. So do the same thing again, but this time for word 2. Okay, I already used I and J. I probably use K here. Alright, just K, but not racist. Anyways, and then words of J instead of I, and then use word 2. And so now we need to go through each one. So for the first thing to do is if word 1 int, actually we don't even have to, so if they aren't even, like they don't even have the same length, so if words of I dot length is not equal or is equal to words of J dot length, that means we should test if they're palindromes, because that wouldn't make sense if there can't be palindromes if they are not the same length. Hey Immortally BH, how's it going? I'm just doing a bit of coding. So now we need to say if, or not if, for, we're just going to say word 1 int dot length. There we go, dot length. And we're going to say Boolean palindrome. Is it drone or drone? I don't know. Is equal to true. So now we need to say if word 1 of int of k is equal to word 2 of int of k, or is not equal to it, it's not a palindrome. Is equal to false. And so finally, after all this, if palindrome valid equals false. Alright. So after all that, now we must check it. Is this Hobo Wars? This is not Hobo Wars, actually. This is the Advent calendar, or Advent of Code, where it's an Advent calendar of small programming puzzles. If you want to know how Hobo Wars is going, I got the animated textures done, and I got starting on the particle system. And then after that, text rendering needs to be done. And then after that, I should be able to actually start developing, because I can do a lot of things with a lot of those stuff. So, yeah. And then I'll add features in as I go. I'm going to see if this is the correct answer. I'm highly doubting it. It's the correct answer! Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh. Alright. So now I got up to here, and a maze of twisty trampolines. Alright. Alright. That's pretty simple, alright. Oh, that's a lot. That is a lot of numbers. Alright, let's do it. I have to create the text file, hold on. Paste all that in. And then day 5.txt. This is probably going to be the last puzzle I do for today, because I'm getting tired. I know it's 7 o'clock, but who cares? You can only talk for so long. You can only talk for 2 hours before wanting to not talk anymore. Copy, paste, day 5, go back into day 5, move this part of it, move this part of it. So there we go. Got all that in there. Now it's ready to go. So I have to see how many steps it takes till I reach the maze. So, and then it increments by 1. So we need to go through this entire thing. We need to make a program for it. So public static int array program is nothing, equal to nothing right now. And then string array jumps is equal to file input dot split by the new line character. And then we can do program is equal to new integer array that is that long dot length. And now we can go through that. So for int I equals 0, I is less than jumps dot length I plus plus, and then program of I is equal to integer dot parse int jumps dot length, or not jumps dot length, jumps of I. So now that we have that, now we can actually use that to it. So so we need to start at 0. So int current index is equal to 0. And then int jump amount is equal to a program of current index and program of current index plus plus, and then actually jump. So current amount plus equals jump amount. And so our current index is equal to that. And now we need to make this into a while loop. So while current index is greater than 0 and current index is less than program dot length. Do this. Boom. And then int steps is equal to 0, and every time we do this, steps plus plus, and then system.out.println steps. Oh, this is wrong one. This is supposed to be day 5. 0 steps to get out of there. Oh, if current index is... Damn. So it takes that many steps to get out. Understandable. Does that work? It is the correct answer. Alright, so we are on to part 2. Now the jump service changer. After each jump, if the offset was 3 or more, increase instead... Alright, so if the offset was 3 or more, instead decrease it. Makes sense. So if jump amount is greater than or equal to 3, decrease it, and then else increase it. Just a small little change. Well, it's a change I have to make. And I accidentally did that on the wrong one. So fix that. And I actually might have to do this line again. Or I can just put this line in front of each thing. I might have to put that in front of each part. Boom. So the first one's that. The second one is a bit of a bigger number, but it's not too bad. Let's see how that is. There we go. So just a small change, and we already got it. So now we have finished up to day 5. And that's probably going to be it for the stream. Interesting, you have the Minecraft Ruby Dunk builds loaded up into clips. Yeah, I wanted to see how the original Minecraft thing was, and it's just a jar file, so you could just get a jar extractor. And at that point, there wasn't any obfuscation or whatever that, basically where they changed the code to where you can't, it's not human readable anymore. So there wasn't at that point, so I wanted to see how it was. And it's pretty simple. Some of the OpenGL calls are changed to like the big old integers, and that's because they can't, like, they just got rid of that for some reason. And then I actually opened up like 1.15 Minecraft, and it is, like I said, a bit, it's confusing. And so you can just open up any jar you want. So like if a game runs off a jar, you can open up and see its source code pretty easily. So I mean, anyways, yeah, so that's gonna be it for the stream. Thank you guys for watching, whoever watched. And if you kept along the entire time, thank you for watching the entire time. I'm probably going to be streaming tomorrow. Probably at the same time, like at 5 o'clock. And so, yeah. See you guys later.